Hi, we're here at IE Gallery to give you an overview of the exhibit that we have right now. It is called Vessel, an Invitational. And there were 21 artists invited to submit pieces for this exhibit about the vessel. Let's start off with Shelley Muzylowski Allen, who's a glass artist. She's done this beautiful piece called Heart Natsuki. It's blown glass on the bottom half, sculpted glass on the top, which is the top of the vessel that opens. There's antlers and horsehair for the tail. She's well known for her glass pieces, especially gets a beautiful surface with the painting. And then let's talk, let's invite Newt Warren in, and she's going to talk to us about Christy Erickson's piece.
Christy Erickson for the show gave us the only interactive piece in the whole show. So each of these pieces here were made by Christy, who you may recognize from Hedgerow here in Edison. But each of these pieces is meant to work together in an interactive play. So if they were in your home, you could place each piece in a different area or stage them together however you wish.
Do you want to show us an example?
Sure. A lot of them fit with each other. So for example, stoneware and porcelain, some glazed and some unglazed.
Very cool. Okay, let's go to Max Emminger. I'll talk about him for a minute. He's known as a painter mainly, and he sits and plays with clay several times a month. And these pieces he's been making for about 4 or 5 years, and they're part of a series called Journey. And there's a little contingency of folks from Seattle, Elizabeth Sandvig, Lana Sundburg, and Chris Westergaard, who they're all in this show, who kind of sometimes spend time sitting around a table working on these pieces. And what about this? This one is, it's a Lanny. I'm showing Lanny and Rik Allen, Lanny Bergner and Rik Allen.
So this piece over here is titled Lapis Axon. As you said, it's a collaboration between Rik Allen, who created the glass portion, and Lanny, who created the metal wire and mesh portions.
Beautiful. And then up front is Robin Green. Maybe I'll tell you a little something about how she makes her pieces. She's a biologist by trade, and we've been showing her work for about 3 or 4 years. She collects leaves and different plant material from the ground usually, and slowly coats those with slip from the clay over and over again until they're to a point where they can be built with. And then she builds the pieces, and once it's fired, the actual plant that's inside becomes ashes. She calls those cremains. So that's a beautiful, beautiful tones. And then we have Mike Scott.
Each of Mike Scott's pieces in this show are single burls. This one is from Madrona, and it's also been painted, but he turns these wood pieces on a lathe and creates hollow vessels that way.
Beautiful. And then the Rik Allen piece.
This piece he was actually just finishing before he brought it to us in the gallery. This is called Panacea Diaspora, if I'm pronouncing the Latin correctly. Made with blown glass, silver wood, and cattail moss. And this green you see here on the glass is an intentional addition during the glass blowing process to create that sort of mossy, lichen-y effect on the surface.
And then the tree has been pushed up inside of the little blowhole, and then he created the tree himself, and he used moss for the leaves or the needles. And that's been inserted up in the little blowhole, and then he used another stick to kind of arrange the branches. And then of course welds the base for it. Beautiful. Oh, and here we have Chris Wardenburg Skinner, local Edison artist who does some wonderful stoneware. And she has taught a lot of people locally. It's kind of a nice community thing in Edison where many people have gone through her studio and done clay with her. A pitcher, a bowl, and a teapot. And down below here, should we talk about Niles Fairman? And I can walk back over and show the other one too.
Sure. So these giant pots down here are smash pots made with various clay cuttings. And they're actually complete drainage holes, so you can absolutely plant anything in these pots as you wish.
That's great.
And they're functional.
Yeah, they survive outside very well. So he's got access to a roller, and he's rolling out these different colors of clay and then firing them in a medium kiln, the medium heat. And
this piece is by David Blakesly. You may know him from Shop Curator or from Tweets Cafe here in Edison. He provided us with 2 assemblages for this show using various found objects. This one features porcelain doll arms, quartz crystal, scapula bones,
a very old cedar boat.
Yeah.
We're gonna pause. Okay, so we're heading over to the second piece of David Blakesly. You want to tell us anything about this, Newt?
So this assemblage is made with some similar materials as the other one, including the quartz crystal, the porcelain doll hands, and plaster of Paris, as well as the rebar stand you see. The vessel itself is an African ceremonial bowl, and this
Beautiful.
additional vessel here is actually an emu egg.
An emu egg. I thought you said one word there. Okay.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
an emu egg.
Beautiful.
And then let's see, we might want to.
Well, I'm aiming at, should we go over to John Fairman's?
Sure.
And because I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah, so all of these pieces here are by John Fairman, who did the pottery portion, and the weaving is done by Del Weber, who is, what would you say, was it 3 generations?
Yeah, 2 generations.
A second generation weaver. He's used cane and bamboo onto the pots by John, some of which are glazed, some are unglazed.
And this is a pretty rare art these days, to be able to weave with cane and bamboo. I'm going to get a close-up of this bamboo piece here. And stoneware, like as Newt was saying, some is glazed, some is unglazed. And we have 6 variations. Those are gorgeous. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll move here to this trio of pedestals. Up front we have another robin green piece. And here another Mike Scott. This one is a maple burl that's been painted.
And that's like a milk paint
Mm-hmm.
that goes over that. Again, I'll show the inside so you can see where the lathe, how it was turned on the lathe. Cool.
And lastly, over here we have a Cathy Schoenberg vase. I love that the base of this is, what would you say?
Unglazed?
Off-center? Well, off-center, but
off-center.
yeah, partially unglazed and
Yeah.
glazed.
Kind of sgraffito.
Yeah, actually.
Beautiful.
Should we move to the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go ahead, I'll follow.
Okay, so back here in the center we have another Niles Fairman pot. Kind of small for a pot, but they have multiple uses. It's the same sort of rolled out groups of clay cuttings from various clays. And then it's glazed on the inside, so it has a smooth finish. On the left we have a Lana Sundburg. This is a clay and glaze vessel. And on the right is an Elizabeth Sandvig. She titles this one Garden Vessel, and I can turn it
Oh, I
as
was
well.
gonna just ask you to do that, so perfect. And she is one of the Seattle artists who normally is a painter, printmaker, but has loved playing in clay as well for the last few years. And should we head to the next shelf?
Sure. Here on the left we have another Elizabeth Sandvig.
Do you want to show me how that little cat head stopper comes out? Yeah.
And then in the center we have another Robin Green. That one includes silk as well as plant cremains. And
She sure is experimenting with different materials in the clay. What is this one called? Source? Okay. Beautiful.
And on the right is a Barb Hathaway vessel, stoneware.
She's an anacortes artist.
Moving on to our last shelf on this wall, we have two Niles Fairman pieces. Obviously, one of them is a chicken. It's a chicken planter. It sits with its legs dangling, and it's totally functional. As you can tell, it's got a growing plant in it as we speak. Plant comes with the artwork. And then we have another one of his small pots in the center. And on the right side, another Lana piece. This one features beads placed into the clay.
Yeah, that's so cool. She's very experimental as well. And she teaches clay as well in Seattle.
Yeah, where do you want to move next?
Let's
Over
see
here?
on the shelves for
Sure.
a minute. Okay.
So all three of these are by Christy Westergaard. Some of them are terracotta, others are generally stoneware. Bottles or vases, or however you wish to use them.
Great colors.
And over here we've got sort of an animal theme happening, a motif. Book ending, that one in the middle. We've got two Erin Murrays, and one of them is a bird vessel, the other is a bear vessel.
There's the bear. Aaron usually makes those wonderful owls and different critters. So he made these specifically for this vessel show.
And in the center we have a Victor Sandblom dog portrait.
Yeah.
And there's another dog on the other side as well.
Oh, that's very sweet. Let's see if I can get a better picture of this Aaron Murray bird. There it is. Okay. Where should we head to next?
I think we should look at Sue Roberts.
Okay.
So these two busts are from her series called Open Chest Series. These two figures aren't actually related, but we thought that we could come up with a fun narrative for them here in the gallery. So they appear to have a relationship. Their interior shows a more authentic interior life than their expressions do.
And this one's called The Man Next Door?
The Nice Guy Next Door.
Oh, Nice Guy Next Door. And facing him is the pleaser. Wonderful. Sue Roberts is really talented Guaymas Island artist who also teaches clay as well.
Let's move on to maybe our last few pedestals.
Okay.
So over here at the tallest, we've got our third and final Elizabeth Sandvig vase, featuring the See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil monkeys that we're all very familiar with.
That's been not common, but it's a theme that pops up every once in a while in her paintings and her prints as well. And that's on the back, too. I'll do a quick view of the back.
Here we have a Lanny Bergner wire basket. I can hold it up.
I'll come around this side. Oh, there we go.
His pieces are very lightweight, which makes them easy to install and move around. In case you decide to place them on a wall or a shelf or a pedestal like we have here. They're very versatile.
And they're usually either stainless steel or copper mesh. This looks like it's stainless steel. It's been heated with the propane burners to make the color, and then hand stitched with copper wire. And then we go to Barbara's.
Yeah, this is another Barb Hathaway vase. All of her pieces she provided for the show are expertly crafted. Each of the walls are the same width. They're very stable, very well finished pieces.
Wow, is that unusual? I suppose you have to have some skills to have all the walls. Thinking back to the couple classes I took.
Looking at it, and not a ceramicist myself, they look like she cut slabs and then
slab built,
scored and slipped the four sides together, would be my guess.
Yeah. Well, should we go to where, did you want to show, yes, to where we started?
Yeah, so these three pieces along the wall here are by Claudia Fitch. Let's see, we could start with the one on the left.
Yeah, Sexton.
That is a portrait of Anne Sexton, the poet. The one in the middle is titled Red Net. And the third one is titled Supine Vessel.
Do you mind pushing that chair in there?
And all three of these are actually additioned pieces.
So they're cast. She makes them from molded, I'm not sure, paste. And then they're cast. Yeah.
And
that's pretty much it.
we have a few other pieces here at the gallery to take a look at if you're able to make it in. This show ends on, I have to remind myself here, the show ends on February 26th. We'll be open until 5 that day, so come by if you have the opportunity. Most of these pieces are also visible on our website. Let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to see you.
Thank you, Newt. And we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.